Yo, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Urban Nerd, and today we're going to be talking about Marvel Phase 4 and Phase 5, some of my hopes, theories, and expectations, with a hint of breakdowns. I'm going to mostly be talking about WandaVision and how the mutants might be born from this Disney Plus series, as well as touching on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and a little bit of Fantastic Four talk, and how Spider-Man 3 might be the first time we see Marvel's first family. Check it out! Let's get right into it. We're going to be starting with WandaVision. So what we already know is Wanda the Scarlet Witch. Her powers will be on full display. The trailer shows a series of trippy images where Wanda is wearing different clothing and goes through different timelines. Vision seems to be in perfect health, and the two have a family with two kids. And if you're a fan of the comic books, you will know that those two children are going to be Wiccan and Speed. And what are Wiccan and Speed? They're mutants. With that being said, for me, the very first thing that came to mind was The House of M, a storyline from 2005. A storyline where Wanda has a mental breakdown and creates her own reality. She has this mental breakdown after losing her two kids. This trailer itself feels like someone going through trauma, how it jumps cut from scene to scene, her wearing various clothes and her character going through different timelines look like someone's searching for themselves. And with everything that has happened to Wanda in the MCU, with her watching her brother get killed, watching the love of her life head get popped open for a stone, that is some very traumatic stuff. And I can see that leading to her creating her own reality. That is easily the ground for the House of M right there. But let's go deeper. In the comic book, she doesn't just change reality to get her kids back and to make Vision come back to life. She changes everything. One of the most noticeable changes is that there are now more mutants than there are humans. And who do you think runs this world full of mutants? None other than ding 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 Magneto. He controls everybody. Captain America is old. The Thing is now called the It. The Human Torch is now the Inhuman Torch. The Hulk and Iron Man all are guards of Magneto. Later on, towards the end of the storyline, the X-Men and the Avengers team up together to attack Magneto, who in a fit of rage kills Quicksilver, sending Wanda into another mental fit, and she simply says these words: "No more mutants," wiping out 90% of the mutant population. Now, how does this translate to the MCU? Clearly, Wanda is going through some stuff and she's creating her own reality where Vision is alive and she has a family. I'm going to assume she has a mental breakdown towards the end of this, possibly. If you have been keeping updates on leaks and spoilers and stuff that's been coming out about WandaVision, you know that one of the scenes is Wanda exploding. So when I heard that, the first thing that comes to mind to me is her having a mental breakdown. And why was she having a mental breakdown? Maybe as she was trying to fix herself, her reality started to crumble, and her kids and her family, she loses them. And the thought of losing them in retrospect to everything else that she has also lost causes her to explode. And this is what causes the shift in reality. This is what will give birth to the humans. This is what will cause the House of M like event. That will give birth to a reality where mutants actually exist in our MCU as it is. I can see Wanda wanting a world where there are more people like herself, like her brother. I can see her wanting to bring back those kids she had in that reality that she created for herself. I can see her wanting to bring back Vision. Now, what I wouldn't want to see is something like a simple reset button, kind of like how the DC CW shows did with the Crisis Infinite Earth universe, how they just had one cataclysmic event and then everything was just wiped away, and all of the CW characters are now in the main universe. It was fun to watch on TV, but with a movie budget, I think that there's so much more that could be done, and I hope that it's not just as simple as a reset like that. Like I wouldn't want Wanda to completely rewrite all of the MCU's universe. Um, we have 11 years of development and world building. It would suck if they just say and just everything just completely different and all that's wiped away. And now the main MCU is just like brand new, watched over. You know what I mean? So I really want a nice, clean integration of mutants into the MCU. I want it to be reasonable, and I want it to be fun, and I want it to be something that we can all enjoy. Most recently, Marvel has made it known that they are not open yet, but they have been working on WandaVision remotely, so that way they can stay as close to their release date as they possibly can. It sounds like we're also going to get to see Doctor Strange and Agatha Harkness, which is great because Agatha has links to the Fantastic Four and trained Wanda in the comic books. And with realities being bent and things shifting in the multiverse, that's how Doctor Strange will come into play. And I can see him also trying to help Wanda get control of her powers because she is threatening the entire multiverse. In fact, she's probably going to be the reason that the multiverse is going into a state of madness, quote unquote. Also, Agatha has ties to the Fantastic Four, so does Doctor Strange. So this is also a potential leeway where we can get some Easter eggs, some nice drops about how the Fantastic Four will enter the MCU. But I highly doubt we will get any viewing of them inside of WandaVision. Maybe inside of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, we might get some Easter eggs and some talk about Reed Richards. We might even get to see him, but I'm going to get more into Fan 4 in a second. In fact, let's get into Fan 4 talk right now. So for me, the biggest thing that I want to know is who is the villain possibly going to be? It seems like all the major talk around Marvel's first family is about who's going to get cast for the role. And while Mr. Krasinski is going to be a great Mr. Fantastic, even if he is not chosen, Marvel has done a great job with picking their superheroes, so I'm not really worried about that. I am more worried about their storyline and who's going to be the actual villain. So first, let's talk about how they will be introduced to the MCU. Some theories say that they will get their powers from the quantum realm opposed to the cosmic rays in space that they get in their original backstory. And why I can see that being possible because of all the changes that Janet Van Dyne went through in her time in the quantum realm, which is why some people theorize that she may be the first mutant. I personally would rather see the Fantastic Four get their powers from space like they got it from originally in the comic books. Maybe they could be out there on a sword related mission trying to help Nick Fury build sword. That's not too far fetched, right? Nick Fury is going to be looking for the most brilliant minds throughout space and on Earth, and Reed Richards, hands down, is one of the smartest people on Earth. So it's not too far fetched to see Nick Fury reaching out to him to come help out on Sword to get some space exploration done. But I actually don't believe the first time we will see a member of the Fantastic Four will be in their own movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in another MCU movie. Some people speculate it might be in the Guardians of the Galaxy, well, because space. There's even talks of them showing up in Doctor Strange, with Reed Richards and Doctor Strange connected because of their connection to the Illuminati in the comics. However, there is one idea that comes to mind. Given the Fan 4 Easter eggs was in Spider-Man Far Away From Home, I believe that their first showing will be in the next Spider-Man movie. We all know that Spider-Man was a member of the Fantastic Four at one point, and him and the Human Torch were like best friends. So I don't think it would be too crazy of an idea for Spidey to run into the Fantastic Four, if not only just the Human Torch on his search for new friends, people to help him hide himself now that he is being ousted to the world. So because this will be Spider-Man's first time meeting the Human Torch, yeah, there will be a heated exchange. I see what I did there. But ultimately, he'll end up helping Spider-Man save himself throughout the movie, or at least play some kind of role where we get to see a member of the Fantastic Four. As for the villain, I wouldn't want it to be Galactus or Annihilus. Why? Because they're too big of a villain for a single film. They are set to be like the next Thanos level threat, so I don't see them being the major bad guy in the Fantastic Four film. So the person that I want to see more than anything in the Fantastic Four film, I want to see the Super Scroll. No one is talking about it. I haven't heard the Super Scroll be brought up one time, but in the 90s, the Fantastic Four cartoon, he was a problem. You want to talk about secret invasion? Like, this could be the key to going into the Secret Invasion War, would be for the Super Scroll to be the bad guy in a Fantastic Four movie. Why not set it up that way? Come on, Marvel, do me the favor. I know the Skrulls in the MCU right now aren't bad guys like they are in the comic books. In fact, they're helping Sword and Shield. For those of you who don't know who Super Skrull is, Super Skrull is a scroll that was genetically modified to have all of the Fantastic Four's powers, all in one person. He beat the snot out of the Fantastic Four. Can you imagine your arm stretching, turning into brick, and then being set on fire just for one hit? Bang. That's just one small detail of what the Super Skrull was able to do with all the Fantastic Four powers in one human being. Well, not one human being, of course, in one being, period. So let's put it all together. How would it look? Okay, let's say the Fantastic Four goes off to Sword to help, right? In the midst of all of that, they get hit with the cosmic rays that give them their power. A scroll that was along with them also gets hit. This scroll gets powers because of his physiological DNA. He was able to absorb all the powers that they got, and that's how he got his abilities. But even more likely, even just if the Fantastic Four was out there helping Sword and they got hit by the cosmic rays and they were hurt because of the event that made the cosmic explosion that gave them their powers, they end up leaving their DNA on Sword. A bad group of Skrulls get that DNA, and that's when they start doing experiments, and that's how they create the Super Skrull, because there are a group of Skrulls that are setting up the Secret Invasion world. Just like there are bad humans, there are going to be bad Skrulls as well. So every single Skrull is not going to be good. So I can see that the Fantastic Four getting injured on Sword while helping, and that's how Skrulls get their DNA, and they were able to replicate their powers. Either way, Super Skrull is my pick for the Fantastic Four Big Bad. And if the Secret Invasion Wars is something that's going to happen, this will certainly be the path that we're on. When the battle is over, post-credit scene, the Super Skrull will simply say something cryptic.
You think I'm the only one? There's more coming. In fact, they're already here.
Bang. Easily set up. We got our Secret Invasion War set. Mic drop. Boom. See? Now that you're thinking about it, all the components are actually there. Kevin Feige, my guy, let's do it. I mean, I already know you have in mind what you're going to do, so this video has no swaying on you or your judgment. But anyway, I just like to think that it does. Don't we all? This is why we make these kind of videos. And they're fun to interact with the fans. But, I really don't care how they do it, as long as they do it well. And, Marvel has pretty decent story writing. For the most part, I love all of the Marvel movies, mostly. Thor, Dark World, we're not talking about you. In other Marvel news, we already know that Black Widow has been pushed back to later this year. But for myself, I'm really good on a Black Widow movie. I'm going to see it, of course, as part of the MCU, and I know it's going to be good. And I also know it's going to set up some things that's going to be very vital for the MCU moving forward. But I didn't really need a standalone Black Widow film, just like I don't need a Hawkeye movie or a War Machine movie. It's not really necessary for me. I was very content with their storyline, growth, and development within the movie that they were in. So that wraps it up for this episode. There will be a part 2 of this. I want to talk about Blade and Spider-Man, how they may possibly cross paths at some point in the MCU, along with Morbius. I want to talk more about who's going to be the next Thanos level threat to the MCU. and so much more. But next week, we're going to take a break from the MCU and we're going to head on over to Duckburg. That's right, the 1987 cartoon DuckTales has been remade and is already 3 seasons in, and not enough people are talking about it. And trust me when I tell you, it is really, really good. I want to dive into and take a look at the coming of the Duckverse as they introduced characters with new backstories like Darkwing Duck and the Rescue Rangers and so much more. And I'm really interested to exploring what's going to happen with this universe and talk about how great it is and compare it to the 1987 cartoon and this one. So make sure you tune in. It is going to be an adventure, and I will see you guys next time.